3, 2, 1. Thank you guys. Welcome to another edition of the BS of Entrepreneurship Podcast. We are in for a treat today. We're in for a real good treat today.
Why are you looking at me? I look good.
Why can't I look at you? Yeah,
I look
you
good.
look good. I'm Frankie
Thank
P.
you. I'm Maria P.
And we're gonna get it introduced. I'm gonna get a proper introduction to our special guest in just a second. But how was your week?
It's been challenging. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm not going into details. I'm just going to say it was challenging.
Okay.
But it was okay. I'm
All right.
here. I'm happy.
We here. We happy. All right. Well, my week, I've been doing my videos every day. So my thing now is to do 2 videos a day. So every day, just post 2 videos. Oh man, this would be great for you. So yeah. So I'm gonna jump out of myself. I'm jump out of here.
Out of yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out of myself. This is gonna be a fun time in the lounge. So we're in lounge 315. So let me do the introduction. This is my good friend. When I say my good friend, way back, brought her up from when she was yay high. She's an entrepreneur. She's a business person. She's a black. What do we call them? A black cowgirl.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
That's right. That's what it
Yes,
was.
I got to get it right. Let's give it up for Miss Selina Pennie Brown.
All right.
That's it. I did it.
That could have been Selina P.
Selena.
Frankie P. Maria P.
Selena
It was right
P.
in me. Just messed it all
And I just
up.
messed it all up. See, I'm learning. You know, this is a process. It is a process.
Well, thank
You
you
know?
for having me in the lounge.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
very excited. I
Yes.
definitely want to hear this story.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear it too? you say, I want to hear it too. So, but for those who are just coming into Lounge 315 and they're not really familiar with Selina Pennie, can you let us know who is Selina Pennie?
I am a DC native, born and bred in Southeast Ward 8, Ward 8's finest. I am a mom. I am, you said, an entrepreneur. I am an athlete. I am a healer. I am many things.
Yeah, see, that sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to have to dive into that. I didn't know anything about the healing
I
part.
know you didn't.
Yes. So did you have aches and pains? Is that what took you to going towards healing, or were you saw someone in your family, that a loved one that was in need of that? How did that come about?
No, it was the children
Okay.
that needed me.
I mean, there's many types of healing, too. Not just aches and pains.
Absolutely. It's the aching heart.
Emotional healing.
Okay, and I'm
Spiritual
thinking
healing.
when I'm thinking about like acupuncture.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I don't do any of those things.
So how did that come about?
Well, I can just relate to so many of the young girls today. You know, like I said, I was born in Southeast. I am the youngest of my mother's 4 children. And, you know, just being the youngest child it's challenging in itself, especially when you have older siblings that are 10, 12, and 14 years older than you.
Wow.
You know, you have 4 parents
You were really the baby.
instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of like how I became a business owner, because I did not like for people to tell me what to do. My brothers and sisters always told me what to do. They bossed me around all the time because I was the baby.
Had you doing all kind of things.
You know
like,
what
why
I'm
do I
saying?
have to do it?
Yes. And so it's so funny. My mother would tell me this story because, you know, I'm very, very tender-headed. And so one day she was doing my hair and I was just crying, and she was just like, come on now. I know I'm not hurting you that bad. What is wrong with you? And she was like, I was just like, everybody telling me what to do. They tell me to do this. They tell me to do that. I was just going crazy crying. I could definitely imagine myself doing that. I don't remember it, but yeah, just having older sisters and brothers. I was exposed to a lot of things too, that as a young child, I don't think if I could do it all over again, I would want to, because, they had kids. And so I became an aunt at a very young age. I'm 10, 11 years old, carrying a baby around on my hip like it's mine. But, that was kind of like what got me into being a caretaker, I guess, from being an aunt at such a young age. But the healing process probably didn't come until later on in life. Just growing up and wanting to be better, wanting to be healthy, exploring options. I grew up in the church as a Christian, and I learned a lot of other things about spirituality and how it affects my life. And, the more I learned, the better I became at, finding peace in my, within myself. Being in chaotic situations, you have to have some place of peace. And so, I sought after peace because I definitely, didn't know that that's what I was looking for, but it was definitely something that I needed. And, my life just became something that I just wanted to share with other people because I just felt like there were other kids out here and other individuals out here that may have been experiencing what I was experiencing. And so, I felt like if I could let you live through my life's experiences and it change you for the better without you actually having to go through those experiences, then that was like bringing joy to my heart. But, I'm still learning and I'm still growing and I'm still, seeking ways to just heal myself and others, my community.
Well, I just want to say too, because, and say this publicly, I have been always seriously impressed by your get-ifness. Is that a word? Go-get-ifness?
Okay, Jesse.
Yeah. Look it up. It's a word. It's a word. Look it up. Go-get-ifness. I'm trying to tell you.
Go-get-ifness.
Go-get-ifness is a word. God. I think it's a word. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, take a sip.
It's a word. Go-get-ifness.
I think we get the message.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
But you were assertive. You were assertive. Just to give a background, Selina, Pennie, and I used to, and I gotta find out about the Pennie. We used to work together, and I guess I was the mentor, she was the mentee. I guess that's the word. But looking at where she had come from, because I just so when I first met her, she just was just meek and quiet, and yeah, I didn't know.
That's nice to hear. I don't hear those words much about me in the past.
Yes, to me, that was the impression that I gave. But she's a very quick learner. So whatever I said, Selina, this is what we need to do, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, then A through Z was done. And I didn't have to even worry about it. I knew that it was going to get done. It was going to get done the right way. But then not only did she do that, she said, well, let me go. And then you went to the management program. So she took that step and went into the management program. So I saw, and I was just so, like I said, I was just so happy.
Like a proud papa.
Yeah, I was just like a proud papa. I was like, look at her. Because the same thing happens with, what's the other one that I taught from?
Nikki.
Not Nikki. Oh man, she's big on social media too. She worked at Minnesota Avenue. I can't. Sharon.
Oh, she's in receiving now?
She's probably in the receiving end, yeah. But like I said, just teaching them and having them to gravitate and listen, and they're the best at what they do. I'm so excited about that part. But I wanted to, just pivot a little bit and go to your. You want to talk about how she got to the.
Well, I want to hear about the horses in the stable and the park. I want to hear about all that first, and we can go into.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead. What's your question about?
So tell me about the horses in the stables and how you work with the youth, and what effect that has on them. Are they scared when they first come? I just want to know, like, if I said, I want to bring my child to this, and she's like, I don't like animals. Some kids are like that. How do you get them to warm up? Or do they come there with the idea that this is something that I want to do? You have some that are scared to come and going because their parent is making them do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I figured you.
Well, I mean, you know, you don't see horses in Southeast.
Right.
You don't see them in D.C. for that matter.
They call it the concrete jungle.
Yeah, I mean, that's new. But if you think about when we were growing up, I mean, you may have had a pony ride somewhere for DuPont Park or something like that, but on a regular basis, that's not something that you see. You may see it on TV. You might see My Little Pony. Right. Somebody might want that for Christmas. But horses isn't something that you see. So some kids are interested and they're afraid. Because you know why they're afraid? Because their parents are afraid. And the parents are always putting fear on their children. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why parents, you're not allowed at the lawn. Drop the kids off, you're not allowed. But, yeah, so I definitely have had some girls that come to the barn. Like one girl, like she was so afraid that she cried. And so we had to take her out of the barn. And she went and sat in the van. But then she came back the next day. And I don't know what was said or what was done. But when you don't have anybody encouraging fear.
Right.
And you find yourself being isolated and everybody else is over there doing all of those things and no one is paying attention to you crying and doing all those things. Sometimes you come back and you be like, okay, well, let me see. Nobody got killed. Nobody got kicked. Nobody got bit. Nobody got hurt. So let me just, see if this is something that I could get myself to do. Right. And so, she came back the next day. She got close, I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to force you to do anything. But you just take baby steps, get closer and closer. Eventually, they want to touch the horse. And then that's when the connection comes and the magic happens. And then they want to groom them and brush them. And then they want to ride. And so,
Right.
I don't think I've ever had any people come that were just like terrified of horses. They will always talk about Superman. They would always tell me that story. You see what happened to Superman? So I'm like,
when he fell off the horse.
I guess that's what happened.
The Superman who
Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
Yes. Christopher Reeves has put fear in everybody.
About Christopher Reeves falling off the horse? That's 20 years, 30 years ago.
The parents.
You be careful.
But it's a good thing that the parents are still willing to bring them, though.
The parents are willing to bring them to the pickup location, which is probably, I try to make everything convenient for them on the bus line, on the metro line. So it's definitely convenient. But I also have not a lot, but I do have a few parents that are very, very involved in their children's lives, like to the point where they'll just take them down to the barn and clean up the stalls and groom the horses, feed the horses, and I don't even have to be there. And so,
good.
Those, I've built some relationships with parents that I've even had 2 kids come to the barn and their parents bought them horses.
Wow.
Yeah, so, one of the young ladies who mom bought her a horse, she just felt that it really helped her with her anxiety and, whatever it was that she was dealing with. And so she wanted to get her a horse.
So now she comes and has to feed the horse and groom the horse.
Well, they come when they can. Okay. So I'm there every day. I take care of the horses for the most part because, they're in school. But in the summertime, they're there, And most of the girls that have horses, or, a lot of them come through our programs are from Southeast. And so, I still live in Southeast. And I'll pick them up if they're available to come. Some, one of my girls homeschool, so she's always available. And when they're like out of school for whatever meetings, professional development, or whatever the case, they may call me like, "Hey, Miss Pennie, I want to go to the barn." I'll be like, "Okay," and I'll go get them. And they'll go with me. But
now, I noticed on your website that you need volunteers to do certain things. Some words I've never heard of. I guess I'm going to get a lesson tonight.
Yeah, vocabulary is
do
important.
Because I have we have a 16-year-old that probably will be interested, and she needs her hours for school. So kids can come, or we can reach out to you and try to set her up to get some of those hours.
Community service hours.
Yeah.
What is the age range of the girl? And these are mostly young ladies, I'm assuming.
Yes, so my organization is geared towards young ladies.
Mhm.
However, when we have like community cleanups, and I have some private parents that come out with sons.
Okay.
They want to do some things, but our programming is specific to girls.
Okay. And
What
what
about
is
big girls?
All girls.
All the adult girls.
Yes. Okay.
what's the age range?
So our age range is, I'll say 6 to 16.
Okay.
Mhm.
But we have some girls that are younger and we have some girls that are older.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
So I was reading actually on your site also that you're doing this so they can I guess emotionally connect with themselves. Is that what it does?
So initially, this started out. So let me just give you a little bit of background. Back in 2015, I was asked to be a part of this all-female relay rodeo team that is known today as the Cowgirls of Color.
Mhm.
And for me, already having an established nonprofit organization, growing up in school, like I said, as an athlete, the schools, some schools feel like that's what we need to bring us to school is a sport to participate in. And honestly, for me, that was pretty much what it was. That's what had me in school. So the one thing that they did not have in these schools was equestrian sports.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to Anacostia to bring this to Anacostia as just a sport.
Okay.
But, once I started learning more about the industry, I learned about the education, like the careers that's associated with the industry, as well as the therapy and the wellness that's associated with the industry. So I was excited to be able to explore all of those areas for not just myself, but for the people that come through my organization and now my community.
So can you touch a little bit on the wellness? I'm just automatically just like attracted to a magnet when you say wellness and therapy. Can you tell us how what you have seen maybe in some of the girls? Let's just take somebody who was 8 and you're typically having like 2 or 3 years, or how long will they continue to come back?
So, well, as long as they're registered and are able to register for our programs in a timely manner.
What does that take?
So, what does what take?
To register.
The cost?
The process, I guess you said.
Yeah, so when we have summer camps, it's a matter of them registering because where I am, I lease a space and I'm limited on what it is that I can actually do, like how many people I can bring, when I can bring them. So right now we are limited to 10 for our programming. When we do like community events and cleanups, maybe 30. But our camps are for 10 individuals. Okay. Our after-school programs are for 10 individuals. And if we do like workshops, depending on the vehicle, so our bus only holds 14 seats. But we just did a community cleanup with UPO, and they had about 20 people down there.
Okay. So. Wow. So how many horses do you have at the barn? We
have 3.
Okay.
I own one. His name is Blue. And like I told you, the parents bought their kids horses. One of the girls' horse name is Jazz. Amari's horse is Jazz. And Olivia's horse is Cammy. But Cammy is actually up for sale.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Cammy is
the parents decided that they would just go ahead and how old is Cammy? Boy?
Cammy is 3. She's a girl.
Oh, okay.
She is 3 years old and full of life. She's the sweetest thing. She's so sweet.
So how did you acquire the horse in the first place?
Well, when I started out with the Cowgirls of Color, this guy, he was just like, if you're going to be riding horses, you need to get your own horse. Because, like, we had 0 horse anything. We had no horse. We had no saddles. We didn't have trucks. We didn't have trails. We didn't have anything. So the people that trained us, we just used all of their stuff. And so whenever we want to go out and trail ride, we got to call somebody who got a horse. So he was just like, look, if you want to ride horses, you need to get your own horse. And so he sold me his horse and bought it up from North Carolina. And that's how I got my horse.
Oh, so by the time you how old are they when they can finally be sold? So I know there's ponies and then.
Oh, they can be
Like
sold
those?
at any age. I don't know anything about those.
I mean, I'm just saying, you get this little dog,
Oh,
puppy,
yeah, right, like after 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they can sell it whenever, but how cruel is that to take a baby from his mama?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about horses.
It's just like
people
you
take
with your
their kids.
baby.
Well, no, I have to keep mine till 18.
You
For
know
18
what I'm-
years.
Exactly.
They take them at 2 days old.
Right.
Well, I know that they take the puppy.
It's just
at a
emotionally
certain-
traumatizing. Horses go through
can
trauma
imagine.
as well.
I can see that because as you're talking about the emotional well-being of a human,
Mm-hmm.
evidently there's some connection there between the horse and the human. It has to be because I don't know, just looking at movies and seeing how people connect with this horse and they break the horse and how they break them and
That's such a harsh word.
I mean, well, I'm just saying.
What do y'all call it? What is it called?
That's what they called it in the old days.
It is because you breaking their spirit.
Is that what you're doing? I thought it was
was.
like when I watched Avatar and they had the dragon.
Yeah. So it's similar to Avatar, but not really.
Okay.
It's mostly. Did you see Spirit? Spirit told you everything that there is to know.
I remember
about.
I was half
You have to watch Spirit.
I was probably watching it a million
Is
times.
the best movie to tell you about that.
Spirit, probably Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Wisdom was the jungle.
Oh yeah, the jungle.
The jungle.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, I have seen Spirit, but I have watched it.
Right.
But okay.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, in a world of wellness, when it comes to equine assisted services, there's just language that you want to use. And breaking is such a harsh term because that's exactly what you're doing, but it just sounds so bad.
What is it called?
That's just like when you discipline your child and somebody be like, that's abuse.
You beat them.
You beating them. That's
Yeah,
abuse, right?
Well, so what is the correct terminology?
I would think domesticating it.
Okay.
Sounds a little bit
Better.
softer.
Domesticating the horse.
How long does it take to domesticate a horse?
It depends on the horse. And it depends on the relationship. It's really just like building a relationship with a human being.
Okay. So when you bought Blue, he was, I'm assuming is a boy?
Yeah.
He was already domesticated when you purchased him, or
Blue was probably, how long have I had Blue? He's 14 now. He may have been like 9 or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, he was. He had actually, I saw this girl who owned him when he was a baby on social media.
Mm-hmm.
He was owned by a little white girl that used to compete with him. And like,
Oh, he was a competitor.
yeah, but he wasn't really good for her, I guess. Because Blue is from Southeast. So you gotta be
Hold on. How do you get a Southeast horse?
you gotta be able to deal with Blue, right?
and that, with you saying that, that's what I kind of mean when I say that,
Blue
because
was from Southeast.
I just, from
That's
everything that I
Southside Blue.
have seen, because I don't know, but everything I've seen on television, watching wild horse shows on National Geographic and all of that, it seems to me like there's got to be a certain connection between the two. It's just like a husband and wife relationship or best friend relationship with these animals. And maybe her spirit just didn't connect with his. Not that
Wow.
he's
Go ahead.
Southeast.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
They on different. Would always say that they on different emotional energies.
And with that being said, him coming from somebody else and they selling him to you, when you saw him, did you think, oh, I probably will connect with this horse, or it's the
Child, let me tell
personality?
you something. I ain't know nothing about connecting with no horse. So when we was, and it's so funny because when we were training to actually compete in the Bill Pickett Rodeo, that's what the trainer used to always say to me. He just be like, I don't know what to tell you. You just gotta learn. You just gotta connect with the horse. That's the one thing that I was missing in our relationship was me connecting, because remember, I'm going into this like an athlete. Okay, we are going to the Bill Pickett Rodeo. I'm going to learn how to do this barrel. I mean, relay race.
Okay.
And it was just about winning the sport. So
Right.
for me, like connecting emotionally and doing all that other stuff, I was like, I didn't understand what that meant. I'm just like, what I gotta do? I gotta get on. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And so that was my problem. But even when I got Blue, it was challenging for us because like he had been from place to place to place, you know, and it wasn't that he just came to me from that little girl. He had been with other people and other things have happened to him. I don't know all of what happened to him, but you could just tell that he was traumatized because he would like be afraid if you come with your hand like this.
Wow.
And so
I've seen that before.
Oh my God, he's scared of his own shadow. He's scared of birds. He's scared of deers. He just was scared of everything. And for me when I first got him, I still didn't spend as much time with him as I should have to build a relationship, but I spent the time that I could have building a relationship, and it still wasn't really enough. So our relationship didn't really get better until we saw each other every day. And I would say that may have been like the past 2 years is when we've been seeing each other every day, because there was a whole lot of our time where I just paid rent. I didn't go see my horse. I didn't feed my horse. So it's definitely, like you said, that human-animal bond has been proven and documented for so long that it is like therapeutic and that, you know, it helps so many people. It's just been removed from our community because, for one, Black people don't think they can afford horses. And, you know, it's just the industry. It's a rich white industry, and that's just how they try to make it and keep it. So I'm just grateful that I was able to tap into the Bill Pickett Rodeo, which is why the Bill Pickett Rodeo actually came about, because there were no rodeos that Black people could get involved in. So they started their own rodeo, all the Black people.
Oh, okay.
Part of it. So yeah.
Wow.
Now with the Cowgirls of Colors, I'm taking back now. So you guys just got together, and you did know how to ride horses at the time? Or?
It was only one girl that was with us that had been riding before, so we didn't know anything. Was she the one that decided to start this?
The group?
No, she didn't start the group. This guy named Ray Lockamy and Bruce Foote, they actually started it. So I met them at Martini's. Y'all know Martini's in Fort Washington, and for years we just partied and partied and partied. And at a party, the guy was just like, I'm putting together an all-female relay team. You want to be on my team? And I was like, I'm not riding no horse. But hey, I'm the athlete of the year. Let's do it. I just got, started playing kickball. And it was just like, okay, I could try something else. And that's kind of like how that got started. But the one girl that had been riding, she had been riding for a long time. I think if you look at the videos of the Cowgirls of Color, she, 5, 7, somewhere between there, she had been riding. The rest of us hadn't had any real experience. And so we got together in 2015. I think it was April. And then in September of 2015, we entered the Bill Pickett Rodeo's Grand Entry Parade. We didn't compete that year, but the next year and then the next year, that's when we competed.
So it's only one group of women, Black women, that, or are there starting to be more?
Well, there was another all-female team in the past, but most of the relay teams are men or men and women, but not all women. So now there are a lot of teams. I think this past rodeo, there were maybe 2 teams of women that competed, all women teams.
So what does competing entail?
It's like track. You know how the relay race is in track, where you pass the baton. So you do that on the horse, but you do, the winner is the one with the fastest time.
Okay.
Do you physically take a baton, go to and then they grab it and then they go? So if you drop the baton, I'm thinking someone picks it up and you're disqualified. Just like a relay.
If you pass the point of no return, you're disqualified. If you knock down a barrel, just 5 seconds or something added to your time.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So where does this relay take? Bill Pickett?
Bill Pickett is actually a traveling rodeo, and they go to like 5 different states: Atlanta, LA.
They
where they
drive
come
across
here.
country to go to LA
Girl,
with those horses.
What?
Oh, poor
People
boy.
fly with horses.
Are you serious?
You ain't saying that, Noodle?
No, no.
Yes,
They
yeah.
fly
But people
full
go
of
all
horse.
over the world with these horses.
Are you serious?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's a long ride. But they come to Maryland every September, every third weekend of September, the Bill Pickett Rodeo. That's like their final.
Isn't that your birthday? Is that your birthday?
The second week.
Oh well, we can. That'll be.
Y'all
your
ain't never
birthday.
been?
No,
That's a shame, Frank.
I know.
I never even heard of it.
The Bill Pickett. Yeah, I've heard of it. Well, I mean, I probably started following it once you guys got into it.
You know what's crazy? My mother and her boyfriend used to go, or her husband. And I used to see him with his little hat and his boots on. I used to just clown him. But she never asked me if I wanted to go. She never
Were you
invited me.
Were you dressing like a cowgirl at that time, or that just started taking place?
I've always worn boots. I love boots and
Okay.
tank tops and booty shorts. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're comfortable.
So when y'all was that marketing? Because I know that even when your organization, the Cowgirls of Color, y'all really took off. I mean, they're in Walmart. They're on trucks going down the highway. So how did that marketing come about? Who did the marketing to get you guys those types of I guess?
That's an interesting question. So one of the things that I did, I set up a website for the Cowgirls of Color, but at the time the website was called the Cowgirls of Color DMV. And so I, put our pictures on there and created a platform so people could have something to reach out to.
Okay.
And I mean, that's pretty much what happened. All of these companies start emailing us.
Because it was the uniqueness.
Because they were seeing. And then you know what? It was
So were
actually,
they your sponsors? I'm sorry.
well, this guy named Holden, M. Holden, and his wife, Annalise Winnie from Baltimore, did an article on us at the Bill Pickett Rodeo and the Guardian magazine, and it went viral. And that was kind of like what started everything. And then once they reached out, I think Ford may have been the next company. So we did a commercial for Ford, and people saw that. And of course, we did a commercial with Walmart, and people saw that. But then at some point in time, we got a manager to handle all of the rest of the stuff. Because we needed a manager.
I can imagine. Especially because of the uniqueness, and I've seen. I think I looked online, maybe because I said something into the atmosphere on my time. You know how Facebook sends you. So now something came up where some girls in Texas, I think, they were riding, and they were black girls, and they were riding also. I'm like, okay, so
people been in riding in Texas forever.
Yeah, Facebook listening to me.
It's a lot of black people that ride horses all up and down the East Coast. One of the things that they do is like every weekend from, I think maybe March. Oh yeah, this is March. To like November, somebody somewhere, some horse club is having a trail ride. And when I tell you, it's the funnest thing ever.
A trail ride?
So you camp out for the weekend. Like Friday through Sunday.
Like real camp?
Real camp, girl. I'm telling you.
Like tents?
Like tents, campers, Winnebagos.
Okay, I want to do this one day.
Cabins. So
it's on my bucket list.
You'll have an opportunity right here in Maryland to do it. So they have like, as a matter of fact, next weekend is one. And Brandywine. But I don't know how soon you want to get it off your bucket list.
No, we have to wait till Gabrielle's volleyball season is over.
Oh, okay.
So in May. What time is it?
You gotta go pick up Gabrielle.
We have a few more minutes.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, but no. What I want you to do is let the people know if they have a daughter and she's interested in whether it's the camp or just that can they just come down there and ride, or how does that work? Do they come once a week? How is that set up? And how could someone, if they're interested in their daughter, come with you? Now this is probably a 3-part question. So, is riding the horse part of what's the difference between just riding the horse and being part of stand, where you get the wellness portion of it too?
There is no difference.
Okay.
All of it is the same.
Okay.
So if someone has a little girl that wants to participate in our programs, they will have to either be involved in our summer camp. So our summer camp entails horseback riding. So it's a Monday through Friday camp, all day, 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of every day is horsemanship and basic riding instructions. And so what they kind of do is they learn about like grooming the horse, taking care of the horse, like safety around horses. And they learn the basic communication with a horse. They learn the vocabulary that you didn't know.
So we know what right words to say.
Exactly. And you know what it is when I'm saying go do that. You're like, I don't know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm telling you, our kids are like, they're just naturals. Like, if you like roller coasters, this is for you. If you have no fear, this is for you. Just like those black girls getting into gymnastics, winning everything now, our black girls will dominate the equestrian industry because they're fearless. So, you know, what we do not offer is just horseback riding lessons. We don't have enough horses for that.
Okay.
Our horses work through the summer, through the fall, you know, some days in the winter when it's not too cold. But outside of that, we don't give them another job. Because that's enough. That's enough work for them. But, you know.
So when you say they work, what do you mean?
They work by allowing you
to get on top of them.
They're putting up with you, being on their backs. You know how you what is it called? Chicken fight? And somebody's on your back, and even if you're just giving somebody a ride on your shoulders and they're all off balance, you know, it throws you off. So they gotta put up with you being like that for one, and then just imagine, you know, they have that metal bar in their mouth, pulling all on. They gotta put up with you to be able to do that. So that's a lot of work on a horse. And then, you know, they walking around in the circle over. They don't want to do that.
What do the horses want to do?
Nothing. They just want to be free and eat grass and run around and just that's it. They definitely like their bellies rubbed, and you know, they like to be groomed. They like to be pampered. They like women.
Okay.
If you could be a housewife, then you know, what did you want to?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
We're gonna go into this. We're gonna go into the 60 seconds.
But let me ask one more question.
One more.
Okay, so you have 10 slots. Is it first come, first serve? Is there a fee?
It is.
Yeah, and you have to go to the camp, and then you can do the other things throughout the year. Is that how it is?
So you go through the camp to do, because his question was the riding lessons. The riding lessons come with the camp.
Right.
They're not like additional.
So no, the kids get to learn how to ride. They get to learn how to maintain the horse in the stable, right?
Absolutely.
They learn the vocabulary and they learn how to emotionally connect. That's basically
the emotional connection isn't something that is learned. It just happens.
Okay. So the 10 young ladies, they love all 3 horses, and all 3 horses love them.
No.
I could only imagine.
I could only imagine. No. So, I mean, I think it depends on, sometimes it depends on the day. And how, I mean, because, you know, every day you're different. And one of the things that you could do is come to the barn and you can lie to me and say whatever to me. But when you get around the horse is going to tell me all your business by how they respond to you.
I knew there was a vibration.
I knew it. That's what we're talking about. Different vibration. You got to be on the same vibration.
Yeah, you got to be. Okay, that's interesting. Will you ever open it up to adults? Because there are some adult people that need therapy, and I think that they could benefit from learning how to connect with an animal.
So I definitely open it up. Like I said, I do workshops with UPO. I've done workshops with their women.
What is UPO?
The United Planet Organization.
Oh,
We say these
okay.
acronyms like everybody knows. The United Planet Organization.
I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they right up on Martin Luther King Avenue. Ayana Bias. It's amazing. And we also work with the 55 and older community. So
we're going to talk.
yeah. So we work with other women. Oh,
Hey,
Oh my God.
yeah, so we are definitely, and so I recently became certified with an organization called the Herd Institute. And then in April, I will be certified with another organization called Egalis, another equine therapy company. And the sessions that we offer, they don't consider riding isn't a part of it. So when you come out for like a wellness service, you won't be riding.
Okay.
So riding is different. People think that riding is the therapy of it because they feel so empowered being on top of a 1,000-pound beast, and then being out in nature is just so peaceful. Yeah, you gotta come.
I like riding.
Well, I'm coming down tomorrow anyway, so because I need to get some footage of you with the horse anyway. So I will be down there tomorrow.
I want to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna do this 60 seconds of fire.
Okay, 60-second fire.
And Tip, just give me 1 or 2 word answers. If it goes into a paragraph, it's fine.
Okay.
All right. So if you could change one thing about your journey, what would it be and why?
Doing it by myself because we are better together than we are alone.
Okay. What do you believe your greatest invisible asset is? And an asset, like a car, a house, a bank. Those are tangible things.
What I say? That's not invisible.
Those are tangible things. What do you believe your greatest invisible asset that we something that we can't see? Like
my superpower.
What's your superpower?
It's my good juju.
Your energy. Your vibration.
You can't see
I was feeding her that because I could feel it.
Okay. What do you believe your biggest but? I would have been here, or this would have happened in my life, or I could have accomplished this, but what do you believe your biggest but in life is?
My biggest but is probably me having doubt.
How do you believe this is the secondary? How do you believe that you can overcome that doubt, or are you going head first to that doubt?
So the way that you deal with doubt is just believe. And so, at times, even beyond believing, you got to know. Because even believing, sometimes it's not enough. Because you can believe and then you can doubt. But when you know, you know.
And this last one, complete this sentence. Life is about
love.
There you have it, guys. Love. Life is about love. Now, tell people how they can get in contact with you, Selina.
Okay. So you can follow us on Instagram at the Stand Foundation __. You can also check out our website at thestandfoundation.org. We're on Facebook. This is Stand Foundation. We're on LinkedIn. The Stand Foundation again. And those are the ways that you can get in touch with us.
All right.
So when you come back, talk about the 501c.
Because we cut this one cut short. So we're gonna get this one. We're gonna do part 2.
Yeah,
part 2. Can we do part 2 at the barn?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
I got a nice little lounge area.
Oh my God! Yes,
Y'all
we're doing part 2.
All this stuff.
Yes, but we want to jump on out of here, guys. Remember to go ahead over to the website. This is your partner Frankie P.
Maria P.
And this is Selina P. And remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, try something new. Wellness, equestrian. Guess what's going to happen, guys? You're going to change your life. Peace.